I've heard it a million times.
I've not said it that much.
It's only dangerous because the Jedi are needed. Huh? What am I drawing? Huh? Well, obviously it's a Jedi Knight! Ah! Is the strong, heroic Jedi Knight, TOB1!
Welcome to KonKon's Cantina. Grab a drink, sit back, and relax.
Welcome to Justina's Cantina.
Dude, the intro music still, it gets me so hyped. Like, if it gets you hyped, tell me, okay? Everyone, message us, tell us if it gets you hyped. Go to our Discord, go to our Facebook, go to our Instagram. Tell me if the intro music gets you hyped. It gets me hyped.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it gets you hyped too?
Oh, yeah. Do a little dance.
Doesn't get me
Make a
hyped
little love.
Is this episode of
Absolutely
Visions.
not.
Get down tonight. What is up, everybody? It is your boy, it's KonKon, back at it again. Sitting across from me, as always, the soon-to-be the bionic leg and man.
Was the camera on me for my nod?
No, do it again. There you go. The man of 1,000 tails, the nine-tail fox beast himself, Jay Breezy.
Senor Captain Baker.
Senor Captain Baker. Yo, dude, we're on a podcast talking the mic.
Sorry, I was looking at my phone and
There
my
you go.
notes of this episode that I'm still looking for something positive to say.
Look, you can look at feet pictures of other guys later, okay? And check your text messages. I sent you a couple more.
Okay.
Anyway, guys, this episode of KonKon's Cantina is brought to you by our beautiful Patreons over on patreon.com/KonKonscantina. There you can find some exclusive content, not a lot, not gonna lie to you, but over there you can support us. All the money that goes into the Patreon goes directly into the show so that we can make this show better for you. I know we say it every week, but me and Justin do have some ideas. And when
we were talking about one today.
When our wives stop bothering us and we can take this seriously.
Well, we can tease it. We were talking about the possibility
Yes.
of doing the OG Dune movie from 1985.
Oh, no, it's
Oh, yeah.
happening. That's not even... Yeah, so the next Patreon exclusive episode is we'll be talking about Dune 1985, and then we will definitely be doing a non-Patreon episode of Dune. Did you see Dune yet?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he hasn't.
yeah.
He had a busy weekend.
Yeah.
He had a busy weekend,
You
but...
had to go in the corn maze and get lost.
Spoiler-free, really, really quick. I say 8 out of 10.
I think I gave my friend a B minus.
B minus?
That was my...
I think a B minus is about an 8.
Yeah.
I think that's right on there. 80%.
Depends on how much of the source material you're, like, familiar with.
I thought that the first hour and 45 minutes was absolutely epic. And then the last hour,
Yeah.
that's where the pacing was slow, and I felt it held the rest of I felt like it held the rest of it back. But my favorite part of the whole movie, once again spoiler free, is right when it titled Dune and then it goes part 1. When I saw part 1,
Yep.
I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh my gosh, we're either getting a trilogy or is it trilogy or is it
Well, they haven't actually technically greenlit part 2 yet.
is that okay?"
And
What?
And Denis, the director, said that he also wants to do another one of the books. So it could be a trilogy.
And they also have the TV show that got announced too.
Oh, I didn't see that.
The spin-off HBO, that's already greenlit. I can't say what it's about because it's a spoiler for the movie. I'll tell you after.
Oh, okay.
But TV show got greenlit, so that's exciting. Guys, housekeeping really quick. Thank you again for joining us this week at KonKon's Cantina. This week we'll be talking about Visions yet again. We have got episode 6. We only got 3 more, leading us right up to Book of Boba Fett. We're going to have to come up with a couple more episodes before Book of Boba Fett comes out. I feel like we've talked about so much Book of Boba Fett, Justin, that we don't really need to do a pre-Book of Boba Fett episode.
It'll probably be a segment.
Yeah, we
don't
can
need
do
a
it. We'll
full
talk.
episode,
Yeah, we
maybe
don't
do
need a full
Maybe you
episode.
could start with the diary of Boba Fett.
Yeah,
Boba Fett's
the
journal.
memoirs.
Yeah.
The memoirs of Boba Fett. Of course, guys, rate this podcast. It helps us tremendously. Leave something funny. We love to read it, and we very much appreciate it. Anywhere that you are listening to this podcast, Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, wherever, 5 stars is what we seek. We greatly appreciate it. Once again, the agenda, as you already know, of this episode is going to be talking about Star Wars Visions Episode 6, entitled TOB1. that right off the bat they weren't original.
I was like, nobody's gonna comment on just that name.
Yeah, right off the bat they weren't original with the name. Like we've had all these like awesome like names,
completely original.
Yeah, and then this one's just like, nah, the guy that's in there, the guy that's in there.
You know that guy that everybody knows? Him. Let's name him that.
Well, yeah, let's name him that. But guys, I mean, before we start talking about visions, we are a Cantina podcast, so we're gonna go to the Cantina right now.
Welcome to KonKon's Cantina. What are you having? But remember, no droids.
Speaking of other forms of epic digital media, I am drinking a Game of Thrones House Baratheon Scotch that I actually
just cracked open.
Fresh crack.
I thought that I had opened all of them. I had not opened this one. This is a single malt Scotch. It is 40% alcohol by volume, which is about 80 proof. Are there higher end proof Scotches?
Oh yeah,
Higher end, like you mean like barrel proofs?
Yeah,
No,
because
I
I
mean,
feel like they're always on the low end.
most scotches sit around 80,
Oops, I just kicked
86.
my camera.
But there is a handful that go up to 90, and there's a few cast strength ones. So they are out there, but they're not common.
They're not common. Yeah, because I've started to like the peatiness more
Yeah.
than I had originally, but I need more bite. I
Yeah.
gotta have more bite. I love the burn and the warmness. I need more of a bite. And because Scotch gets I don't like it when it's too smoky. I like it when it's a little sweet. This one is definitely. Is that what you have too?
I did try it earlier. It is on the sweet side. I got a lot of plum.
It's very, very sweet.
Stone
Yeah.
fruit.
Yeah,
It was good though.
I think it's good. 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
Do you
7 out of 10.
remember what that price was for that bottle, or is it too long ago that you don't remember?
It's too long ago. I mean, now you can find these, basically all of them, from anywhere from $29 to $50. At one point, I know that Baratheon was one of the more expensive ones. If I remember correctly, it was definitely $69 or $79.99. So at that price point, I'd probably bring it down. But I know that you
Yikes.
can
Yeah,
get
that's
this.
a lot.
What?
69 or 79 for
Yeah,
that.
it's
That's
a
pricey.
lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
But now that the GOT hype is gone and all that stuff, once again, this is the House Baratheon one. This one you can get, I believe, like I said, most of them are all between $30 and $50. So even if this was $50, I still think I'd say 7 out of 10 because this has a lot of flavor.
Oh yeah. There's some
I really
character
like
to
this.
it.
Did you try it?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Yeah. What did you think about it?
I thought it was good.
Yeah.
I thought it was good, but it's nothing to write home about. Is the best way for me. Like there's nothing.
You guys
unique.
are more of a Scotch drinker than me though, because this doesn't have like, it doesn't stay on the back end for me. That's what I really
the
like
finish
about
is
it.
very, very subtle.
Yeah, very, very light. Yeah.
It could be something that's great to introduce somebody into a Scotch
Yeah, that's a good-
because of that reason. But for me,
Absolutely.
like, there's nothing that sticks. There's nothing unique. It's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, I'd probably give it more of a 6 for me.
Well, no one cares what you think anyway.
All right.
What are you drinking?
I'm drinking something off of your shelf. I think this probably was from your 5-year anniversary as a gift, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
Somebody got it.
That
for
was
you.
that was from Roberto's father-in-law.
Ah.
That's who that was. Yeah, if I remember correctly, yeah, he wasn't a Scotch drinker. We went over to their house, and his whole family, me and Natasha were the only white ones there. And I, of course, brought a bunch of whiskey and stuff, and they were like, "No, we don't drink that.
Take this with you."
Take
No,
this
sir.
with you." That's exactly what happened.
This is I had never had it before. I have seen it on the shelves and never bought it. This is Buchanan's Deluxe 12-year. It is a blended Scotch whiskey, which personally not my absolute favorite thing to get blended scotches, but this one is not that bad. I think you
Yeah.
said the price point was around 28. Isn't that what you said roughly?
Yeah, that's definitely one of the more budget.
Yeah,
blended
it's like
scotches
it's
out there.
anywhere.
But I mean, the 12-year age statement is not nothing to
Yeah,
laugh
nothing
at.
to sneeze at.
Yeah,
but
I don't think it's bad.
it's got a nice.
I think
got
it's good. It's really good for the money.
a subtle smoky flavor. It's not.
Right.
It's not in your face. It's not like a Peat Monster or a Lagavulin or something, or or even a Lefroy. But it's got enough of that little bit of a smoke going to it that I'm enjoying it quite a lot. It does have possibly the worst pouring bottle that I've ever experienced in my life.
See if you can you hold it up and
I'll see if it can. My bottle, my glass
It's
is kind of
equivalent to
full.
the chastity belt from Robin Hood.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But what is inside
Not too
of this?
fast now.
What's inside of this tip is a clear plastic
you literally
situation
you
with,
literally can't get just the tip.
with some fashion of marble inside of it.
It's kind of like the Ramoon.
I don't know if you can see this on the camera.
Soda.
It's upside down. This is as much as it comes out. Well,
Yeah,
now it's even pouring better now. God dang it.
Now you know how to actually pour it.
Yeah. But
it does. It has a weird.
pours at like a dribble splash.
Yeah.
Like it's not like a steady stream. It like
So
gurgles.
that's kind of like how when you go to the bathroom.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like when I'm number twoing.
Yeah,
It's like gurgle splash.
gurgle splash. All right. Speaking of gurgle splash, what is your rating?
Oh man, I give it 6. I give it a 6, just like I gave that scotch.
Gotcha.
6 down the road. So
All
far.
right. Well, shout outs to this one for being compared to that one, but it is what it is. Anders, what you drinking?
So, I brought my new daily,
All right.
The daily.
Evan Williams 1783 small batch. So they've had a small batch out before, but they've actually semi ASMR.
Yeah, I need it. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice. Trying to flex on me with your cork.
Hey, sometimes you gotta let them know.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
It's all good.
Twist top boys.
This one just came out in the last 6 months, and it's a new expression by Evan Williams. So they bumped it up from 80 proof to 90.
Nice.
I like it.
And
Yes.
then it's not age stated, but on the back, it does say a mix of like 6-year-old bourbons or older.
So it's almost like they made their own infinity bottle.
more or less, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So, but this bottle, Walmart liquor, like I think 15, 16 bucks.
Dude,
Oh, not bad.
Evan
not
Williams is a great. The 3 things that I've been buying is the the Evans William benchmark, and I can't even look at you when
Dickel?
I say this.
Bad. Dickel.
Wild Turkey 101.
Oh, you're on the 101 team.
Don't
WT 101.
don't
Let's
even
go.
don't. Those are the things that I've been buying to
yeah.
to mix with, but
Only taken 7 years to get you
but
to do this.
you can't beat the value of the 101.
Oh, yeah.
You were right. You
I
can't
think-
beat you can't beat the value.
I think Connor started drinking 101 the same time he started liking Frozen.
You know what?
It's just all in the same
And we're
night.
not talking
Listen,
about 2014.
Listen, I'm steering into it. I have discovered the Frozen
Steer
movies.
into the skid.
Listen, I'm
let
steering
it
into
go.
the ice that Elsa has put out for me, and I've slid right into her heart. I will start singing right now.
Can we get some reverb on that?
Yeah, I will start singing right now.
But yeah. I don't know what I was supposed to do there.
Anyway, what was your score for the whiskey?
6 out of 10.
6 out of 10. Gotcha. That was
Solid.
great. That was fantastic.
Great radio.
Yeah, great radio, guys. All right, guys. I think it's finally time that we can talk about this episode.
How did you wear this hat for so long? These pins are like poking my head so bad.
Well, for starters, I have a normal size head.
Well,
and
sorry. My
then-
brain takes up more room.
And then there's your head with you freaking Kiati Mundi over there. Okay. Those pins didn't touch my head, dude. They touched your head. I'm putting the camera on you. Show the people the pins. Duck your head
This
down a
side,
little
right?
bit. Yeah, there you go. So we got Rex.
So I bought these pins.
No, you didn't. Shut up.
I bought these pins from Disney.
We got Rex. That pin's actually from Michael from Rex and Around. Shout outs. And the next pin is Vader Lives. That's from the 40th anniversary. And then also the 40th anniversary is the Who Shot First pin, which you can't really see on camera, but it slides back and forth, and it's got a picture of Han and Greedo. You can
Nice.
slide
I
the
do
pin,
like that pin.
and choose which one shot first. But guys, TOB1. We're finally getting into it.
Hunk of trash.
Listen, our intro was better than this episode. I'm gonna be honest. This episode was was difficult to say the least. I myself don't want to be overly negative. I'm gonna leave that negativity to Justina. It was hard, and it was a little too kiddish for me. And that's
Yeah.
all I'll say before I'll get into the recap. What about
I
you?
agree that I think you nailed it with that sentence. It was too geared towards young children, and by children I don't mean like Clone Wars and Rebels, where it's like,
Yeah, I'm talking like 8-year-olds.
yeah, we're
Even younger than that.
first grade and less than, like, is about
I
it.
could
Yeah.
literally see a teacher throwing this on
Yes.
a science teacher for elementary kids, like throwing this
Exactly.
on, and no one ever thinking anything of it. What about you, Anders?
I mean, I gotta agree that it's definitely probably the most kid-oriented episode of Visions that we've had. But I don't think that makes it a bad episode. I think it brings up some interesting questions as far as like what's presented in the episode.
There's still some things that I'm going
Yeah.
to bring out. There's some things that some headcanon type stuff to make it better. Me and you talked about it a little bit at Oktoberfest. But anyway, sorry, continue.
Yeah, and just, around that same train of thought, I mean, all these episodes bring some questions to mind. They don't spell everything out in every episode, so once we get into it, we can talk about, some of the questions that might...
How did I forget? We have It's KonKon, your boy. We have Jay Breezy, the bionic arm, and
Technicolor
soon to
boy.
be the bionic leg man himself. And
Anders Lindquist,
what's your...
Technicolor boy.
There it is. Didn't it used to be... It was Droid on something. Technicolor Droid. Was it...
No.
No, it
It's
never
always
was?
It's always been Technicolor boy.
Well, I renamed you in my head because I thought it was cooler, apparently.
It probably is.
I was going to say the droid himself talking about the Droid Boy episode, but I am mistaken. Anyway, Justin.
I was going to say, like, one of the only kind of unique things that this episode, well, I shouldn't say this episode, this studio has, is it is the only studio that made 2 different episodes.
Oh.
Yeah, Science Saru.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, this is the only studio that made 2. Also 2 of my least favorite episodes.
What
but
was
that's
the other
besides-
one that they did?
The 9th episode, like the very last one.
Whoa,
with,
whoa, whoa, whoa. Me and you talked about that one and liked it.
I don't remember now. Maybe I
The
need
very
to rewatch
last
it.
one?
Yeah, the very last one.
The one where they're like in the castle
Yeah.
and like the big
Sith lady.
guy.
Yeah, we talked
Big
about...
Bertha.
You know what? We're going to...
Maybe I need to revisit
You're
it.
on,
I only watched it
my
once.
list. You're on my list, Travis.
But still, they weren't they were not my most favorite.
That's wild that these are both the same studio because those two art styles are completely...
Yeah.
How did you feel about... I did not mind the art style, but sometimes I don't like it when the characters are done and then backgrounds have
Yep.
this kind of watercolor where it almost
The
seems
detail is
lazy.
It's like
there.
a video game.
Yeah.
Like a pre-rendered background on a video game,
Yeah, like-
and the sprites are walking
Even
around
the-
in front of it.
Yeah, like I'm
We're
not a
already
big
to, like,
fan of that.
Paper Mario.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that because I feel like T.O. is very polished and Professor M is very polished.
Yeah.
But everything else, I want those other things to also be.
While we're talking about the characters,
Uh-huh.
my
Oh,
one of my
yeah.
my other big problems with this is I felt like these were the most derivative character designs I've ever seen in any of the Visions.
For sure.
Like out of all the 9 episodes, this was the most unoriginal. Like the
Two characters in particular.
Obi-Wan, Toby, whatever you want to call him, is a straight up ripoff of both Astro Boy and Mega Man.
Yes.
Yep.
And Professor Mitaka is straight up Dr. Light from Mega Man.
Sure.
So hard that I even took a picture of it, and I'll show it on the camera. It is literally this episode. That is Mega Man and Dr. Light.
Yeah.
It's
They're-
too bright for the camera,
Oh,
but
I don't
we'll
know if you can see
post
Like,
it. We'll post it.
They're exactly the same. They
Yeah.
look exactly the same, down to the outfit, the
Identical.
hairs. It's
but,
crazy.
But on the same side, I mean, recognizing that history of, one of the first anime to be made and bringing it into Star Wars Vision is also kind of a cool thing.
Yeah.
To pay homage to
Like
something
Mega
that
Man.
really started that style of animation, brought it to America, made it
Yeah, take
a
that,
household
Justin.
name.
I still don't agree. Like I wasn't going to
Nah.
say anything, but I just don't agree.
Nah, sorry. I don't see it.
I don't see it. Guys, let's get into this recap.
See, I was going to be nice and quiet.
And I think this is the shortest episode of all the Visions.
Yeah, it was
At 13, 14, something like that. I
Yep.
think this is the shortest one out of all of them.
Yep.
If you say it quick enough, T.O.B.1. It's like Obi-Wan Kenobi a little bit. Anyway, T.O.B.1 wakes up. He begins to greet the other droids, and he is then tasked with waking up another. He finds CO3 in a room filled with cave-like drawings from Star Wars events all over the walls.
Yeah, that was kind of cool. The
I did like
etchings
that.
and
Yeah.
cave painting vibes that it gave you.
It reminded me of R2-D2 because R2-D2 has never had his memory wiped, and he remembers everything. And I think that was a direct
That is a good point.
And things that he was drawing, if you actually pause the screen, there's
some AT-ATs, some
there's a
X-Wings,
ton
some TIE fighters.
yeah, and I think we can all agree that this story would basically be taking place after Order 66. Like 100%.
Well, yeah, there's an Inquisitor.
Yeah, there's an Inquisitor. There's somebody who's hiding that they're a Jedi, which I always like that aspect.
Yeah.
I like that stuff. Maybe it could have been executed a little bit differently, but anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Something I really liked is the sound design of this episode. The droids and the different like little sounds they made, and then they were doing what they call Mickey Mousing.
Yes.
Basically, the soundtrack was mimicking what was happening on the screen.
I'm so excited that you're saying this.
I'm not gonna say anything.
Get into it.
I'm not gonna be that guy.
Dude,
that just
rip me apart.
Yeah,
Yes,
you
you
have
have
to
to
be
do
that
it.
guy. You have to be that guy, bro.
I literally have written down that the second I heard the beeps and boops and things, I got rage anger. Like, what is this crap?
He comes over, and I'm writing the recap when he gets over today, and he goes, bro, when they start making those, I was like, Anders is coming over, and he's going to love every bit of music, sound effect. I was like, you're going to have to talk to him about it. It's like,
I walked right into it.
The Mickey, I did enjoy the Mickey Mouse scene, and there was a scene, I don't remember exactly where it was, but there was a very lo-fi. There was a very, very
It was
lo-fi
one of the
beat.
montage scenes. I think used that
where
lo-fi
he's rebuilding the
hip-hop
lab.
sound.
Really, really enjoyed that. This episode, I feel like they didn't use as many Star Wars
themes
and
musical
musics
themes.
and
Yeah.
sound effects as the other Visions episodes.
True.
It was definitely its own vibe entirely. Like
Yeah.
you could have easily changed the word Jedi, and this would not be Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Sure.
you could change Jedi, you could change like that he came in as a Sith Inquisitor or whatever, and this exact story could take place in any universe.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yep.
A research project is what is taking place on the planet. This is why they're there. And the purpose of this research project is to bring life to the planet. Now, they never say the name of the planet that they're on, but I'm going to say that it is Justin's absolute favorite planet, Tatooine. It's
Now-
Tatooine.
Now, does Tatooine have 2 moons? And I know it had 2
Two
suns,
suns, not
but in
sure.
the later part of the episode, you see 2 moons. I didn't get a chance to see if there was a canon or legends.
There are a ton. Even Endor has 2 moons. Endor itself being a moon, but there's more moons around it.
Sure.
I can't think of something off the top of my head, but I mean, yeah, there's plenty. That's something you noticed, like actually in the episode.
Yeah.
2 moons.
Mm-hmm. Oh, also, probably my favorite little thing on the wall that CO3 was a Wampa.
Oh, on the.
Did you see that?
I didn't see the Wampa.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So that was interesting.
A lot of what I saw reminded me of Empire Strikes Back because the
Exactly.
2 figures that are fighting, it almost there's a very distinctive shot that is used in Star Wars where you have it's the back of Luke where Vader is advancing towards him in the hall in Bespin right before he gets thrown out the window, and that cave painting for whatever reason reminded me. There's a lot that gave me Empire vibes was my point. And of course, you brought up the Wampa.
Sure.
I also just realized that this episode is so lazy that they're just reusing Star Wars names and adding one consonant or taking away one consonant.
Like
They're
what?
adding T Obi-Wan, and instead of C3PO, it's just C3O.
C3O.
Well, you know where the Toby name comes from.
Where?
Well, so Tobio was the name of Astro Boy.
See, there you go.
Super
original.
So that was his actual name.
I gave him that one.
Yeah, you gave him that
Yeah.
one. Yeah, you said
Here's
it.
the pitch. Here's the pitch.
Here's the pitch. Yeah, that was the softball and
Yep.
just whoosh,
Uh-huh.
just right out of the park.
How did you guys feel about the voice acting on this episode?
I didn't mind it.
Anything either way?
I mean, I actually think I liked the professor more than
Yeah.
TOB1.
I agree with that.
And
the professor was actually he's the dad from Free Willy, and I'm trying to think of what his name is. Hold on, I think
Dad
actually,
Willy.
Dad Willie, and also
Kyle Chandler.
I actually liked the little droids. I kind of liked the little army of droids that.
Yeah.
And then CO3 later obviously has a connection with him because they morph together.
together.
Yeah, but Continuing with the recap, the purpose is to bring clouds to the sky, to bring rain, and to bring life to the planet. The universe that they live in is a very dangerous place.
Every Jedi's goal in the world, make rain.
Bro, they literally had a librarian Jedi in the prequels, dude.
Well, so
like haters gonna hate. I don't know.
so if they're trying to terraform this planet,
Yeah, that's the word.
yeah, if they're trying to terraform it, do you think it's a glassed planet?
I like that
It
idea
is now.
a lot more than Tatooine.
Yeah, it's a glass
That's why I
planet.
wasn't thinking Tatooine. That it was actually a planet that got glassed, and
Yeah, there's life on Tatooine.
yeah,
Yeah, it wasn't Tatooine. I was just saying that to trigger bionic arms over here. Because everything seems
They
to come
seem
back
to
to
always
maybe
Tatooine.
this
back.
episode hits a little too close to home. The professor without any arms, Justin with his.
You ruined my. I was waiting for that to get there.
Got him.
Got it. Oh man.
I also didn't realize he didn't have arms until I watched it 2 complete times. And then I look back and I'm like, oh my god, he doesn't have arms.
Wow, that's why he hands him the lightsaber with the Force.
Well, it did take
Epiphany.
me a second because I just thought he was just keeping them in his robes.
I did too.
like
Yeah.
all like kimono, like but-
Kimono style.
Yeah.
See, that's why he's a scientist, bro. He can't fight with the lightsaber.
I didn't know it because the Sith Inquisitor guy goes like, "Is that the armless Jedi that I defeated?" And I'm like, "Armless Jedi," and I had to like literally go back. I'm like, "Oh my god, this
Hold
entire
up.
time,
Bro's got no arms.
he's just got like coat sleeves
My
with
dude- my-
flapping in the wind."
My dude got whooped and had to go to a planet to terraform it. Couldn't be a Jedi anymore.
Nope.
He actually in a former life was in a rock band, and that didn't work out.
And,
either.
Tatooine Rhapsody.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, come on. TOB1 expresses his amazement in one day becoming a Jedi. To become a Jedi, of course, the professor tells him that he must find a kyber crystal. TOB1 gets to work right away, seemingly searching the entire planet in the process. Shoutouts to the Swoop Bike gang.
Oh, yes, that's his one cool thing he did. Build a swoop bike.
He has
It had pod racer sound effects if you listen to it when he powers it up too.
and it looks like the Darth Maul one it looks like the one that Darth Maul rides. It's round faced. It's just a little similar. It's not exact, but
Yeah.
I was just like, okay, yeah, because I really loved
Yeah.
that.
I love
the
that
one that he rides
that
Maul.
his speeder had an astromech spot.
For him
Yeah.
to jump in like
Yeah.
we see in other stuff.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. That is one thing that we talked about last episode is Vision is doing really well is, especially in the last episode, The Ninth Jedi, you had that floating little droid and its arms are also disconnected and like magnetic. You have all these new inventions of droids that we're seeing apart from what we normally see in
Right.
Star Wars, and droids is such a huge part of Star Wars, so much so that George Lucas somehow copyrighted the stinking name droid.
It wasn't. It wasn't
Like-
anything until he made it up.
Yeah, literally. Like it's just insane. So to see more droids that we've never seen before, I really enjoy.
Yeah.
TOB1 searches the entire planet, not finding it.
Did you notice how he searches? He only
Like-
looks in 1 or 2 places:
Well, yeah.
under a rock
Yes.
or on top of a rock.
That's all he knows.
That's the only things he does.
That's a budget. That's a budget thing right
It's
there.
a budget. That's all he knows. Professor M teaches TOB1 about the Force, how to use it, and what it is. We get a very Obi-Wan moment there. The Force surrounds us, guides, all penetrates us, all that stuff, right? I really enjoy it.
Whoa.
What?
Doesn't penetrate me.
I was going to insert some joke, and then I said insert, and you said penetrate. Anyway, continuing on. He then, of course, is reminded about the basement. This is the only place that he has not looked. And remember, he was warned earlier in the episode about not going to the basement. Of course, in all TV screen fashion, he goes to the place where he is not supposed to. And what does he find? He finds a T-16 Skyhopper.
This was another one of the cool moments, I thought.
Yeah. Although I don't think it's it is a T-16, but he takes it off planet, so I don't think it's a derivative.
It's a modified
Yeah.
Skyhopper.
Something, yeah.
You know what's
Well,
really...
they said the Skyhoppers can be used for short-term flights. It probably has no
Yeah,
hyperdrive.
no hyperdrive. Yeah, what do they call it? Not interstellar, but
Sublight.
sublight travel
sublight
only.
engines.
Yeah. Shout outs to dude. I still love episode 2 of Mandalorian season 2. He was like, sublight travel. Are you crazy? Yeah, I love that whole thing. This is also a really cool thing. Something that was pointed out to me by Star Wars Explains, which I never noticed. I have probably seen A New Hope 200 times at least. You know the scene where he's giving C-3PO the oil bath right before he starts working on R2 and he's sitting there
playing
and
with the model.
He's playing with the model. You know what's right behind him? A full-size T-16. You can see the giant triangle or the exhaust.
So his ship is there, and
it's right
like
behind him.
The speeder.
It's right behind, and I've never noticed it as many times as I've seen in New
He was
Hope.
probably in the docking bay or
his garage. His garage. Yeah, he's got a speeder in there. The T6. I just thought that was super cool. We never noticed it, and this is super Star Wars.
Rip down Beggar's Canyon in that bad boy.
Listen,
That's right.
Hitting womp rats. Okay.
Bullseye on him.
He jumps in the T-16 and he starts playing around in the cockpit as a kid
Immediately
would.
sends all, copies everybody,
Jedi,
sends all.
Jedi here?
Yeah, CC everybody in the company.
Jedi here? Come here.
He ats the CEO, everything.
It's me, a little boy, and an armless professor.
Yeah, it's a Tio. He sends an alert to everybody. Of course, unknowingly, the transmission is heard by a large Empire-style ship above. A black-clad figure says Jedi. Professor M is furious when he finds Tio in the basement after playing in the Skyhopper when he told him not to. Later, he uses the Force to rip open the Skyhopper. And, of course, Professor
he has
M...
no arms.
Because he has no arms. Is
All
revealed,
makes more sense now, doesn't it?
It does. All revealed.
Just open the door, dude.
All revealed to be a Jedi. Tio then learns that this was for his protection. Of course, once again, this is kind of like I feel like this is a mantra in all storytelling, but lying or refusing information to protect somebody, it's,
one of the biggest tropes.
Yeah, huge trope. So not telling Tio, of course, that, his Uncle Ben died in a carjacking accident. Of course, that would hurt him and send him into a spiral of things.
Comes great responsibility.
You know what? I'm surprised we didn't get that one because that would have fit Professor M perfectly.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. He then uses the Force to put Tio in a safe area and then handing him a lightsaber. I thought this was kind of cool. We have he starts moving these rocks that are. What else was he hiding? Because he takes the rock from the top.
Probably a bunch of other dead child robots.
The failed experiments.
Yeah, it's the Guardians of the Galaxy 2 with all the dead children. Yeah, no, I think that's where the lightsaber was. I think he had the light because so he moves the rock first. It comes down, and then before he shuts the rock and crushes little Astro Boy, he hands him the lightsaber. And I did think it was interesting that we never saw the Kyber crystal. I didn't know what the reason for this was, but the lightsaber was
because
in
he
2.
didn't. The Kyber was inside of.
I'm sure, but it was just a
No,
weird.
the lightsaber's inside of the droid.
Oh, is that okay?
Yeah.
I didn't notice that. That's something I didn't notice. Well, it puts it back together. I was wondering. Well, now I know why because the Kyber wasn't in it. So,
and I did like that it was very reminiscent of Cal Kestis's saber design.
Oh, 100%.
Definitely, kind of.
You're a big fan of his saber.
I love it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I have it.
Yeah, no, 100. The not the pommel. The emitter. The emitter 100% looks very, very Cal Kestis. Oh, huge Star Wars news! Everyone's thinking it's what's the name of his game? My goodness.
Fallen Order.
Fallen Order 2, but we'll see.
They
I'm hoping
announced a new one.
Yeah, they announced a new one. Yeah, we're supposed to find out at the end of this week. But anyway, back to the recap. Using the Force, Professor M puts him in the safe space and, of course, hands him the lightsaber. I am one with the Force, and the Force is with me. The third time we have heard this mantra said in Star Wars. This is the first time outside of Star Wars canon. And, of course, we're not counting books. Me and you have heard it in a couple of the newer books. Tio comes out of his hiding space after an unknown period of time, learning the entire lab has been destroyed.
I like the idea that this Inquisitor comes down, just wrecks everything, destroys the whole building. Just these are pointless droids, still just slashes every droid in half. Yep. But then he makes a nice little grave for Professor.
Well, see, I got the idea that was done by Tio off. Because
I feel like he
walks
walked out and discovered it.
It's there.
It's discovered.
Maybe one of the droids because some of the droids survived. Maybe they did it.
Yeah.
Because not all the. Well, no, they rebuild all the droids.
Yeah.
Shout outs to this Inquisitor.
This Inquisitor is you know what?
Very
the
thorough,
respect that
but
he deserves.
Very respectful.
Yes.
You will die. I will give you a grave.
It's a good fight for a guy with no arms.
You will die.
That's what everybody who fights me says.
Yeah. Hey, I'll give you a rock grave, okay? It looks like a Pokemon used rock throw. Like, it doesn't even look good.
Arbok is going to come up from inside of it.
Arbok? Okay.
Oh, Ekans. Nope.
No.
What's his name?
Onyx?
Onyx. That's what I was saying.
There you go.
Listen, you know what I meant.
Well, I do
It's been
now.
a minute.
Hey,
It's been a
it is
minute
what it
since
is.
I was Pokemoning.
Tio continues. He decides to continue the professor's research to bring planet to the life, as Anders brought out, terraforming the planet. Of course, me and you are suckers for a good montage. This is my favorite part of the episode myself. We get this cool montage of him rebuilding the lab, continuing the research. I also liked that the plants very much... when we were talking about this earlier, when we were getting the shots of the lab, you ever see somebody that has... like computer monitors? Xbox 360 did this for a long time, where you had the fake aquarium.
Oh, like a screensaver.
Like a screensaver?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Very much aquarium vibes with not only the music, but the colors, the pastels. And then if you look at the plants that they're creating, it looks like kelp. It looks like coral. It's very oceanic. You know,
Yep.
that's the vibes
Right.
that it gave me. But of course, Tio succeeds. He creates rain. Activating his lightsaber in the desert, he dances, and he continues as the rain falls on him. The dark figure is back, which we can assume
And
is...
he notice what he flies in.
TIE Advanced.
Yes, sir.
Ooh,
Which
that's
was
what's up.
different from earlier.
Yeah, it was a different
It was
ship
a
in that first little
So
cutscene.
that makes you think how much time has elapsed, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely an undisclosed amount
Yeah.
of time. Well, and it would have to be some amount of time because... Or it's really ironic that Professor M never finished his research.
And he did
5
it in,
minutes
like, a
with
week.
Tio. Yeah,
Yeah.
5 minutes with Tio on the job.
They were right on the brink.
Yeah, it's like everything was spelled without an E, and he's like, "Oh, this is it." E. It's like everything's fixed. That was the only problem. Of course, the dark figure is there to finish what he started on this planet, which is to kill the Jedi that he has rediscovered. A battle then begins. Tio is force pushed into the ground, causing him to have a force vision of his former mentor.
Now armed, fully armed mentor.
Fully armed mentor. Professor M tells him that he is proud of him, and he knights him as a Jedi. Now, input my theory that makes this
Your
episode.
headcanon
This is
theory.
my headcanon. Transformers are organic technology, right? So they have DNA, they have these whatever, however it is they explain it in Transformers.
Full AI.
Full AI,
Yeah.
organic, like it's not he's not just machine, he's man and machine. I think that whether it was Professor M that created a child for himself and he put his
Yep.
DNA in him, he's a robot that clearly can use the Force. Now look, I know it's not canon and all this stuff,
Because
but
even in the beginning of the episode, he says something was calling out to him.
exactly.
Yeah.
So he has this innate sense to figure out what the Force is. You know, it kind of reminds me of Rey, you know, when, you know, she has the awakening of the Force in her, all this stuff, right? I think that he is some sort of a biotechnology, whatever, and that's why he's actually able to use the Force, which I think is a cool concept.
Right.
And just something we've never seen in Star Wars. And
It does add to it, and it seems like a technology that would for sure somebody would have worked on.
It's very close to
Yep.
Grievous, but
Yeah,
Grievous didn't have the Force.
He's
you
more
know?
cybernetic
yeah,
on top
yeah.
of a...
Yeah.
Yeah, but Grievous's
And
whole
you remember at the beginning of the episode, he said, I think something like, "Did you make me taller again?" or something like that. Like,
Oh, yeah,
like
yeah,
he's
yeah. Like he was growing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like he was
Yeah,
like
he
in
came
some
out of
sort
like
of
that chamber that he was in.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was working on him to some extent.
exactly.
He gave him what he never had, arms. Of course, the battle then ensues, and he has the Force vision of his former master. The Dark Lord starts to overpower T.O. as the young little astromech boy is now knighted as a Jedi. T.O. loses one of his arms, making him an official Skywalker. More of a Skywalker
It's not
than
Star
Rey.
Wars if somebody doesn't lose an arm.
Listen, my dude gets stabbed in the hand and then
Yeets his own arm off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just like, I don't need it. I don't need it anymore. Forming up with another droid, CO3, that we have seen in the beginning of the episode. We get the ultimate anime transformation
Oh, yeah.
Gundam.
Oh, yeah.
We got
Gundam
the
jetpack.
Zorg.
Yeah.
Power Rangers, as we talked about
Oh, yeah.
episode before
Yep.
last. We got the Megazord. We form up. I actually really liked this little version of him. I thought it looked
that
cool.
was sick.
Yeah, it looked cool. Definitely one of the more
Ultimate move.
exactly
Kind of things.
very anime. And
yeah.
then we also had like the slashing through, and it like it goes slow, and then
He
of
falls
course,
on the ground and gives the okay sign.
yeah.
Super anime.
Okay. Gets him. T.O. takes out the Skyhopper and tells that the next part of his plan is to travel to other planets in the galaxy to continue the vision of his former master, which is obviously terraforming other planets. Next stop, Mandalore.
I'll make it rain.
Next stop, Mandalore. Because Mandalore was also... the glass idea, I love the glass idea.
Yeah.
I'm full sending it.
And I
Stamp
feel
of approval.
Very in agreement with like a Jedi scientist creating a force cybernetic being out of a kyber crystal.
Yeah.
Either because he lost a Padawan and took that, and he had a Padawan and then he recreated him into this form.
Yeah.
And now
Could have
that's
been
his current Padawan.
Post order
Because that's what he
66.
calls him, earlier in the episode. So
Yeah,
I'm thinking he lost a Padawan and then decided to,
Safest way to get a new Padawan is to create one.
This is
when
so,
they're all hiding.
This is so
There you
cool, and
go.
this is just like my favorite thing about podcasting, because I've watched this episode 3 times, and
Much.
the first time I watched it by myself, second time I watched it with my wife, watched it again by myself today. And all 3 times I was not thrilled about it. But now sitting here and talking about it with you guys,
There's always something you can pick out at least.
there's always
Yeah.
something, and that's just the thing that I like about storytelling in general, is finding like the deeper things. And my original rating for this episode probably would have been like a 3 out of 10.
That 3 is exactly the number that came into my
Yeah.
head.
And I think I'd bump it up to about a 5. After sitting here,
Still 3. I will literally never watch this again.
never.
Do you think you're ever going to watch this again? Unless you have like some children over to your house?
That's what I was going to say.
Realistically?
Like,
you know
if-
what? Dang it! You're
Yeah.
you're catching me in a lie. Well, here, what were you?
I was going to say the exact same. I was like, if some kid came over,
It's true. It's
and,
true.
like,
It's perfect for a
yeah,
kid.
you're not wrong.
yeah, and I'd be like, we got a couple minutes to kill when we put this episode on.
3 it is.
Yep.
three it is.
Not to say like there's not some saving graces for us, like
Yeah,
some
for sure.
ideas and some things in it that could be explored more or in other mediums. But for me, this episode is just
Yeah.
it's not
It's just
not
not
for
there.
me. I mean,
Yeah.
it probably
They
would
really,
hit totally
they really just
different
took
as a
the
kid.
Astro Boy, theme story,
Yeah, it's like
adapted
Astro
it
Boy
to
and Mega
Star
Man
Wars.
smooshed together.
and that's not a bad thing. But was Astro Boy the greatest anime ever made? Not really.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. But it did bring us some interesting ideas, and it had something to say.
Yeah.
So
no,
I guess
for
now
sure.
it's time for our question.
Our
Do you want
pat-
this story to continue?
First of all, how dare you?
This is my podcast.
I
It's
asked
Justina's
that
Cantina.
question.
I opened it with
I
that.
asked that question. All right, ask the question again.
No.
Do it.
Do
Do
we
it.
want this story to continue?
Absolutely not.
Anders, Marie, who is it on?
Oh, I think it ended, and that's where it should say.
Yeah.
The only thing I want to continue is I want to know what this Inquisitor's name is, because I spent an hour scouring the internet to know, because
his name is.
we have 11 named Inquisitors.
Yes.
It was
And
a very
we-
interesting design as far as Inquisitors
I
go.
did. He reminded me. I did like.
Yeah, we didn't really get
we
touch
didn't,
on
we
him
didn't,
that
we didn't
much.
touch on him that much. I did like his design. You know what he reminded me of is he reminded me of the old school steam trains. How they have that big giant guard on the
does
front.
look like
The cowl.
He-
a steampunk
yes.
Inquisitor.
He's
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
steampunk, like he also reminded me of very much looked like a dark knight, like a very medieval Dark Knight. But one thing that was interesting is he did open his
Oh,
mouth
shout
in
out,
the
A Knight's
episode.
Tale is on Netflix now, so
Dude,
an
you know
announcement for-
James has never seen A Knight's Tale.
What?
that's his problem. Liz doesn't like it, and I almost punch her in the face every time.
Sheesh. We just watched it the
How-
other week.
How does Liz not like A
I
Knight's Tale?
don't know how she doesn't like it. I don't know. I'm
I
like,
mean, it's
I
got
was like,
so
have you
much of
seen
Paul
it?
Bettany's butt in it. I mean, what more do you want?
Dude, okay.
Fong. I will fong her.
Yeah. I think you do
Until
that.
her entrails become her extra.
Enter intros.
Until I enter her extra. Uh-oh.
Oh boy.
Oh, God. Too much. Too much. All right, so I'm good with where the story ended. Not my favorite. Once again, I did have a good time sitting here talking about it. If you liked it, tell us how much you liked it. tell us what you thought about it. I think the
Yeah.
consensus on Facebook was that it was not a favorite. I
was
have
weak.
not. I've not heard
seen-
a single person
I've seen
bring
an
this episode
average
up.
review when I was looking at stuff like 3 out of 5 stars, 5 out of 10. Like it seems to be like at the middle
It
or
can't-
a few ticks below that.
I can't with the hat. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm Dave Filoni right now.
Yeah. Trapper Wolf over here.
Look at me now. I'm Dave Filoni.
Guys,
Look at me.
Next week, of course, we'll be talking about episode 7, which is a better episode. It is The Elder, very much like that episode. Of course, tune in next week as we
Yes.
talk about that. We need to get a schedule out for the people. We got to talk about Disney Plus or Disney Genie.
Genie Plus.
We got to talk about Genie Plus. We definitely got to get Dune. Once again, check out our Patreon. We will have the 80s version of Dune coming out. We don't have a date. Me and you will talk about it. I would definitely, and I think you'd really enjoy to do that. You know
It
who
was my idea.
We got to have Magistrate. Magistrate
yeah.
is a
Oh, yeah,
huge
yeah,
Dune
yeah,
80s
yeah.
fan. Yeah, we got to have him. We go over to James' house and we got to do that. Shout out to James Platco Painting, our $10,000 subscriber sponsor. He and his wife are having their 20th anniversary coming
Aw.
up. 20 years. He has been miserable.
So many houses painted.
So many what?
Houses painted.
So many houses painted. All this. Some say he's still painting houses to this day. Guys, thank you very much for joining us this week at KonKon's Cantina. As of course we continue to talk about Star Wars Vision. Guys, turn in next week as we talk about episode 7 of Star Wars Visions, and don't forget to leave a review for this podcast. I was your boy. It's KonKon. Sitting across from me, the man as always,
Prost.
host, and Anders, thank you for
All right.
coming by.
Have a good one.
And joining us, and we'll catch you guys next time.
See ya.